Hi everyone. Right, today I wanted to show you a ring sling. I'm going to do probably what is the most traditional carry in a ring sling, which is the hip carry. A ring sling, if you've never come across one before, it is a long piece of woven fabric, could be linen, could be anything, but a long piece of fabric with two rings. And the rings are what loosen and tighten the sling. So what happens is the fabric is in a loop, threaded through the rings, and you have one place where the fabric is stitched, like just here. It's stitched all the way along. That's where the rings are sewn in. Now that is what you are going to want to make sure you have at the back of your shoulder, so behind you, because you're going to want this long tail that hangs down to be your adjustment. So what you need to do with a ring sling, if you're going to use it for a hip carry, I will demonstrate some of the other carries it can do another day, but if you're going to use it for a hip carry, you want to put it over your shoulder with bearing in mind that you want to put it on the shoulder that you want the baby's weight to be on, and the baby will then be on the opposite hip. So I like to carry on my right hip, so I'm going to put this ring sling on my left shoulder. So I'm going to put it over my head, and I've made sure that I've got the stitched part is now the back of my shoulder, and then I have got the rings just in front of my shoulder blade, between my shoulder blade and my breast, and I have got my arm, my opposite arm, threaded through it, so it's across my body like a sash or a crossbody bag or whatever you want to call it. And there is this loose pouch. I'm just going to pull mine a bit looser actually. A loose pouch which baby is going to sit in. So I've got mine too big now. I know my baby's not that huge. So I'm going to just pull on the tail. You might want to hold on to the shoulder so that it doesn't move. I'm just going to pull on the tail of the sling to make the pouch a little bit shorter. So now I know I've got a lot of slack, so I'm just going to follow that slack down from behind my back towards the rings, so I know exactly where to pull on the tail, because where you pull on the tail makes a difference. If you just pull it all at once like I just did a minute ago, it tightens in random places. So what you need to do is, if you know you've got any slack at any point, you need to follow that slack back from behind you where you can feel it, and take it all the way forwards to the rings, and then you'll know exactly where to pull on the tail the other side. So I've gone from behind my back with my right hand, and I followed the slack down from behind my back and gone towards the rings which are on my left shoulder, so that I can then find the corresponding piece of the tail to tighten up the pouch, because you want to tighten up the pouch so that you can get baby in. So just an approximate way, approximate amount of tightening. How much room do you think you'll need to get your baby in? And then when you think you've got it about right, you're going to make sure you've got a nice pouch so that it's going to come underneath baby's bottom and underneath their knees. So you want to make sure that the bottom edge is kind of folded in a little bit so they've got that seat. So now I've got my pouch. It feels a bit like a shoulder bag at the minute. So I'm going to get my baby, who is sitting up here. Hello baby. Right, and I'm going to put my baby on my right shoulder, and I'm going to tuck her legs. I'm going to bring my left hand up underneath the pouch of the sling, and I'm going to tuck her legs through and make sure I'm bringing the sling up her back as I gently slide her through on my hip, and then I'm going to make sure, if you've, like I have, shifted the rings, now is your chance. You can pull on the carrier and pull it back to where you want the rings to be, so they're not too close to your baby. So I've just pulled them back to the right place, which was in front of my shoulder, just between my shoulder and my breast. So now I've got baby in. A baby's legs are out of the sling. Baby's sitting on a nice pouch of fabric just there. And if you need to, you can just put your hand underneath and pull up the fabric if it needs to go a bit higher between baby's knees. Your baby's probably going to want their arms up if they're smaller, because babies like to suck their hands. And then you want to make sure that the sling goes to the back of their neck and that you've got them positioned nicely on your hip where you're comfortable, and baby's comfortable. So my baby's quite high up. My baby is about 3 fingers below my chin, but obviously on my hip, and I'm not sort of saying right round on my hip. You can have them right round on your hip like that, more towards your actual hip, or you can have them just to the side a bit, so like a front carry gone to the side. So the minute my baby's got his hands inside the carrier and they're up near her face, but if she wanted to, she could have her arms out. If she was an older baby, might want her arms out, wave them around. So you could put the carrier up to her armpits. So I'm actually gonna tuck her arms back in for now. So she's seated on my hip. I'm still supporting her myself at the moment because I want to tighten the carrier. So I've now got a nice spread of fabric over my left shoulder, which is nice and flat at the back, and you must make sure it's nice and comfortable for you at the back. Baby sitting with her knees in the nice M position, and she's sitting on my hip, slightly forward probably from my hip, and I'm now going to start tightening the ring sling. So again, it's about following the slack. So I can feel that I have a bit of slack in the bottom of the pouch, and I don't really want baby to start having a wriggle themselves out of it. So I'm gonna feel behind the baby for where the slack came from. I've took it all the way back to my rings underneath the tail, and then I'm gonna pull on that bit of the tail and it tightens it in that exact place. So now baby's got a nice secure seat and held in place. So now I'm just gonna cuddle my baby a bit closer, and there's some slack at the top that I just need to sort out, and I'm going to take that through to the rings, and I'm going to pull that, pulling down on the tail, try not to pull across. And now my baby's in a lovely position and I'm comfortable, she's comfortable, her airways are clear, I can get 2 fingers under her chin, her hands are up, which helps to clear the airways when they're little. She's in a nice supported, stable position, she can breathe, she's comfortable. I'm hands-free, I can wave my arms, can give a little jiggle, and baby's not going to go anywhere. It's nice and secure. Now if I'm finding that actually this fabric is really annoying me on my shoulder, and it's too near my neck or anything like that, I can just, you can do one of 2 things. You can bring the bottom up, so the bottom part of the shoulder fabric up, and fold it and then leave it like that, or you can, if you want to be a bit more fancy about it, take the part that's near your neck, fold it under halfway. Sorry, I'm obscuring my face completely. Fold it under halfway, and then fold the bottom part over, so you've got like a sandwich, and it's going to stay put and it's out of your way, and you can lift your arm, do what you need to do with both arms. And that is a basic hip carry. in a ring sling, and these can be great options if you just want something really quick. When you get the hang of them, they're a bit tricky to get the hang of, but once you've got the hang of them, ring slings could be a great option to be really quick. They're very lightweight, so you can slip them in a bag or under the buggy, whatever, for emergencies. And they're great to keep in the car. And they're just really good all-rounders. You can use a ring sling from birth, but that would be on your front. You can also back carry in a ring sling, and I will cover those positions another day. But I hope you found this helpful. And to get your baby out, you would just lift up this top ring that doesn't have any fabric on it. So you lift it up and pull, lifting your arm up, and the sling is now loose. And then you support baby and take hold of baby and lift her out. Push the sling down so it's off baby's feet. Put baby down safely. Go baby. And then take off the sling. Okay. And that is a ring sling hip carry. So I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions, you'd like more explanation, you'd perhaps like to try a ring sling for yourself, drop me an email on info@thecarryinglife.co.uk, or come and find me on Facebook, or just pop a comment under the video. Lots of ways you can get in touch, and we can talk through your options, whether that's to hire one, or perhaps you might want to look at buying one long term, or just chat through what carriers might suit you. Just let me know and we can work something out. Thank you.